Welcome back. Okay, I'm very excited to introduce you to Paige. Hi. Hi, Paige.
Hello.
She is going to be on the show whenever she feels like it, and she's also doing all the production for the show. So thank you very much, Paige. Welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you. I want to talk about, okay, Paige is a newlywed.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been married now?
3 months.
Oh my goodness.
Almost. Yeah, 3 months. We got,
Yeah.
December, January, February, March.
Almost
4.
Like a couple days.
Yeah, it's the 12th.
Yeah.
It's 4
So,
months.
oh my goodness. That's
I know.
exciting. How's it going?
It's fun. It's
what you
good.
thought?
It is what I thought. I obviously grew up in like a Christian household, so like we weren't able to do like the, oh, you're dating for however long, you should move in together first.
Yeah.
So like this is like my first time living with a man, which is fine. It's not super hard yet. And I know like a lot of people who are married for a long time, they're like, oh, you just wait. Like, cause I'm like, this is easy. But I mean, it is different living with someone because I'm definitely like I shut down with my social battery. So it's been interesting like learning like he knows too and he's really great about it. Like giving me space when I need it or like just, doing my own thing, but it's also like interesting cuz I mean, I've lived in an apartment on my own and in a dorm and everything in college and I can't just leave things where I want them. So it's like, I mean, we're both learning that cuz I mean, he lived on his own as well, but we're kind of like, oh, you actually have to like think about another person when you're doing things. So,
you guys kind of got some flack for getting married at what society has now deemed as too young.
Yeah, so we got married. I had just turned 23, I think about 2 weeks before, and he was 24. He's turning 25 in a couple months. But yeah, we got a lot of backlash, I want to say. And it was also, we were really young, but it was also a very fast wedding. We didn't do the traditional wait 9 months wedding, like plan everything, $40,000, $50,000 wedding. We did the courthouse, eloped with just us and our family, like immediate family. And then we did a super nice dinner at a winery that we rented out, and it was about, I want to say like $5,000.
That's awesome.
To rent it out, and then that's where everyone who wasn't like immediate family met us there, like friends and everyone else. And then we just showed up after the courthouse. So we did that, and it was really fast. Like we got engaged on November 1st, and we got married on December 12th. So it was a little over a month, like a 45 day engagement. So we got a lot of backlash for that, which I kind of talked about it on my social media a little bit because I posted about it and I was like, don't ask me if I'm pregnant while I'm
One
posting.
more time.
Yeah, I had like over 40 text messages, like friends
asking if you were pregnant,
asking me if I was pregnant, friends asking me for their bosses because they were like, oh, I have to go to my friend's wedding. And they were like, oh, is she pregnant? Like she just got engaged. Like, and like other friends who were scared to ask me or like family members who were scared to ask me directly, like asking around to see if they knew. And so I posted about it when I was posting all my wedding photos finally. I think it was like around January 1st. And I was like, this is a really special moment for me, obviously. So don't ruin it by like commenting or texting me, like, are you pregnant? And I literally put on there, I was like, no, I'm not pregnant. We got married fast. Like, we didn't want to wait. Like, I am not bashing long engagements at all. I think a lot of people, like, they want a lot of people there and they want to have their big moment. For me, I am not a big moment person. I don't like the spotlight. Like me sitting here is fine because there's no one here. But like, you know how I am, like with microphones and talking in front of people, like I can't do it. So for all eyes to be on me is really hard. And so I didn't see the point in waiting that long for me to have a small wedding anyways, because I thought it was perfect. Like I was even like nervous talking in front of my parents, like at the courthouse, like doing the vows. Like I was like shaking a little bit. And it's like my parents and his parents.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't like it. And so I also didn't want to spend a lot of money because that's expensive. And I felt bad. I have 3 younger siblings. So like for my dad to take the brunt of that cost was like, love him, but I didn't want to put him through that stress either. So
I love what you guys did. It was a gorgeous wedding. And I wish that more people did that because,
Mhm.
I've always said if people spent half the amount of time planning for their marriage as they did planning for their wedding, there'd be a lot less divorces.
Yeah.
And there's benefits. Everybody's like, oh, you're too young. You're too young. What? Too young for what? So that you can like party and sleep around or whatever. But when you get married, you begin growing together. And so for you guys to get married in your 20s, there's so much growing still that's going to happen. And you're going to grow together now,
Yeah.
which I think will only deepen your
Mhm.
relationship. And you'll have so much time together before you finally decide to have children.
Yeah.
And because you have so much life to
Mhm.
live. So anything surprising about being a newlywed to you?
Um, I'm honestly okay, like, this is gonna sound so cliche, but, like, my husband's the best, and, like, everyone tells me they're like, "You married, like, an angel," because he doesn't complain about anything, and, like, it's hard going because we both work a lot, and I work from home, and he works on the road, but it's hard to also, like, work all day and then go and clean everything and make dinner and, like, make food and all this, so, like, our apartment, which it's not huge, it's a studio, gets pretty dirty throughout the week, and so we're like, "Okay, we'll just set aside, like, Fridays and Sundays or whatever to, like, just clean or, like, the weekends, and we'll deep clean it and everything," and it's hard to maintain, but, like, he's just, like, I don't know how he does it, but he will work all day, like, blue collar out there working, and he'll come home, still make dinner because he knows I'm, like, on a call or, like, working or whatever, and he'll clean the whole apartment, he does all the laundry, and I'm like, "Now I feel bad because I didn't, like, do that." Like, I don't know, I'm not, like, that type of person where because if I am doing something, I put all my energy into it. I'm very ADHD. So I can't, like, work for a little bit, go clean a little bit, work for a little bit, go clean a little
Right.
bit. I have to either get all my work done and then just clean everything, or clean everything and then try to get all my work done. So I normally will prioritize work because, I mean, we're a dual income household and I need to
Right.
work. Um, so he comes home and he'll clean everything, and then I'm just like, I feel so bad, but he just is like, "Oh, it's
So
fine."
do you know each other's love language?
Yes, we actually,
Is his acts of service?
his is acts of service and words of affirmation. So, yeah,
So he says
he's
wonderful
very good at it.
things.
He says the sweetest
Yeah.
things, and then he does the nicest things, and everyone's just like I have friends over, and I had a friend visit California, and she'll hate me if she sees this, but she started crying because he was so nice, and she at the time was dating a not very nice person that they're no longer dating.
Oh. So she saw
And
what it's supposed to be like.
yeah, and so she literally started crying last time she visited because he was just, like, so nice and doing everything, and he showed up that morning. We had gone out to the bar with a couple friends, showed up with, like, breakfast sandwiches and, like, Liquid IV and, like, all these things, like, super early in the morning before we woke up. Everything was, like, clean, like, took us out for the day. He's, like, driving us around, paying for everything, so he's the best.
What's your love language?
My love language is quality time for sure. And then definitely, I think gift giving, but I feel weird saying that because I don't like receiving gifts. I
Yeah.
like giving them.
Yeah.
So I'll say, like, oh, my love language is gift giving. And, like, he'll try to, like, get me things. And I'm like, oh, that's so nice. But, like, I feel weird because I'm like,
It's almost like there's two. There's like the way
yeah,
that you express it and then the
yeah.
way that you receive it.
I definitely express love through gift giving. But, like, the way I receive love is, I think, words of affirmation and then quality time. And
See,
quality
that's
time also
really important
giving.
by the way, it's important to know that.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people are like, all I do is this and this and this, and it's not in the love language of the other person. So the other person's like, that's really nice, but it's not doing it
Mhm.
for me.
Yeah.
So you guys are ahead of the game.
Yeah, we took a quiz. We went to premarital counseling before we
Mhm.
got married, but they made us take the quiz at, like, the very beginning, and then the whole thing is, like, kinda going over, like, who you are as a person, including those love languages, and then also really understanding the other person. So you'd answer all these questions and then swap with the other person.
Nice.
So you know, like, all these deep questions about each other.
That's
So
fantastic.
it's helped so much because now it's like, you know the person, obviously, that you're marrying, which I mean, anyone should with or without knowing and doing that.
Yeah, but these
it's a
are not
deeper
things that are
level.
normal. Like you don't ask these things on a
Yeah.
normal basis unless somebody's prompting you. So you guys should take the biblical marriage bliss course that I put together.
I know.
You would like that. If you like that, then you would like that.
Yeah.
They're short and there's all kinds of like little things in there that, obviously we've learned being together all this time. And I'm proud of you guys
Thanks.
because you kind of went against probably what everybody was advising.
Definitely against the grain. Definitely against my mother. She wanted to plan the wedding so bad. I felt bad, but at the end of the day, everyone was fine with it, and it turned out
It was amazing.
gorgeous.
It was amazing.
So I'm really happy with it, and I think everyone is. But it was funny in the moment because there was a lot of tears, like planning it, and everyone being okay with that, and then obviously a lot of people couldn't attend because it was so fast, and it was like right before Christmas.
Which maybe it was better.
It was better. It cost less. Yeah, it was down to the count of how many people were going to be there, but we did end up having like a party later on with family that couldn't fly in.
That's great.
Later in January so that they could all like plan it and kind of fly in to see everyone. We just did like a little backyard hangout.
I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And I thought you guys did great. Okay, I wanted to ask you something else. I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Bobby. Where do you land politically? So Paige is Gen Z.
I'm Gen Z.
Aren't you?
2001?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
You're not a millennial.
I don't know. I know I'm not a millennial.
No.
I lean a little bit more towards the right, but I always have considered myself an independent.
Yeah.
Because there are definitely things, and I have a lot of friends on both ends, like far right, far left, like in the middle, everywhere. I have a lot of friends all over the place. There are a lot of things that I agree with that are a little bit more left leaning, and there are a lot of things, majority of things right now, that are more right leaning. But it depends on the subject because I can see also both sides. And I think coming from I went to a public college, you see both sides and people are always arguing that in all their classes and everything they do. And I can understand where people come from. I don't agree with like the extremist actions that people can take on either side, or like the way that people treat each other for having different views. I've always been someone that kind of says you can have whatever opinion you want, and if I disagree with you on something, I'm not going to be disrespectful and rude. We are going to maybe talk about it and figure out what's the difference is. But I think I'm more in the middle, and I've grown up in a very conservative leaning family, but I have a lot of Democratic leaning friends, but then so it's kind of in the middle. So I do, I don't know, fall in the middle of that.
Did you vote in this last election?
I did vote.
You did?
I voted for Trump this year. I don't think I voted the last time he was there. I was in college and they sent my
Were you 18 for that one?
I was, but they sent it here. And I remember it was a whole issue because I couldn't vote in Arizona. And I didn't have the money to fly out here.
Right.
So I don't think I know I didn't vote. I didn't turn anything in or do anything. This election, I did vote for Trump. Because I wanted a better economy. Yeah. Because I was at that point getting a little nervous going into marriage and everything like that with the prices of everything. It was just a little bit scary. So that was something that was a big factor in how I voted, was just the economy and how things could move. And also I know this might be fake, but the draft talk of oh, we are going to go to war if Trump's not in office and there's going to be a draft. I was a little nervous for that, knowing that I'm marrying a 24-year-old man. I did not want him to get drafted. I know that might sound stupid. No, it doesn't. And maybe people are going to be okay, that was fake. No one, people were just saying that to scare you. No. Well, I got scared. It worked on me. So
there was a lot of scare tactics in general out there for everybody. But, at your age, I didn't pay attention or care. Mm-hmm. So to hear you, the things that are important to Gen Z, this is something for you to listen to because they're the ones that are going to be shaping society, mm-hmm. And I'm happy to see that your generation is coming back to a more moderate place, because I felt like for years, everybody under the age of 30 was just a crazy, like extreme crazy liberal.
Yeah.
And so it's good to see, some moderation.
Mm-hmm.
I think truthfully, I probably actually align with some libertarian views. But there's no party really to vote for. So
yeah. And I think like, especially right now, and I've said this from the beginning, especially when everyone was talking about voting, I don't like Trump as a person, but I like him as a businessman. I think he's smart in what he does, and obviously he was successful. I mean, he had a lot of money going into the election. But I don't know, there are obviously qualities that are kind of like, I mean, I wouldn't be friends with him if I was in the room. But yeah, because I know there was that video that did you see his Gaza video on Instagram?
no.
It was really bad. Because all the stuff going on in Gaza and all that, he made an AI edit of Trump Gaza, and it's a whole video of how he's gonna make it better. And it's like they're like all chanting like Trump Gaza, and they're like, there's gold everywhere, and everyone's happy.
And it was produced by him?
It was on his personal Instagram, so I don't know if it was produced by him. People were in there like, "Are you hacked? Like, what's going on?" But it was pretty inappropriate, I think. Just not saying that he can't talk about those things, but it's an inappropriate take, I think, because it was pretty much him going in there like bulldozing everything and rebuilding it all, which I think right now it's a sensitive topic, so maybe not bring it up in that way. So I didn't personally agree with that, but I do think like the way he holds like a strong forward figure when he goes to like meetings with other heads of the other countries or whatever they're called, I think he is a strong person that they're a little bit intimidated to mess with, which I think makes me feel a little bit safer.
Yeah.
But there's pros and cons to everyone. Like every person going into the election, there's pros and cons. So I think just this round, Trump had a little bit more pros for me.
Yeah, he had more pros for me and my original. So I'm going to share something that I didn't share before. Back in probably 2015, 14-ish, when there was just talk and he was going on all the talk shows and they were saying, "Are you going to run for president?" And I think that was him feeling it out, because I don't think he was going to run unless he thought he would win. And I really felt like actually God gave me a word, and I felt like God told me that Trump was going to be president. He's going to do 2 terms. Is going to go down as one of the best presidents in the history of the United States. And so I kept that really close to the vest because, of course, everybody was making fun of him and everything. But one of the main reasons that I voted for him the very first time was because he wasn't an actual politician. He wasn't polished. He wasn't saying all the perfect things, because all the politicians, most of them, I believe, my belief system is that most of them are bought and paid for. They have lobbyists. I mean, if you look historically at presidents, Trump is the only president in history who left office with less of a portfolio than when he came in. And every other president has gone in with a net worth of whatever and left in the net worth of hundreds of millions. Every single other one, except for Trump, because he came in with being a billionaire and he left with less net worth. So that showed me, which is why I voted for him in the first place, that he wasn't there to get rich. He wasn't there to get rich. He was there because he felt called that because of his business acumen, that he could do better with the country. And so that was a big one for me. I think that he's like the ultimate troll. The stuff that he says, like he trolls people. Even on at the State of the Union, he called Elizabeth Warren. He called her Pocahontas in the middle of the thing, which I'm like, he because he's not a politician. He's just a guy. He's a dude that's like, he's going to say what he's going to say, and doesn't seem sometimes to have decorum. But in his defense, they have raked him over the coals so many times, over and have called him everything you can imagine, racist and the not. And if I wasn't a racist, well, I don't think he is. I don't think he's a racist. But if it's me and people are calling me names over and over and over again, and I get the platform and have the opportunity to do a dig, I might do a dig too, because all the things that you said about me. So yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, I think I had one more question for you. What do you think about the show? Are you excited about it?
I'm excited. I think there's obviously a lot of things to talk about all over the place. And there's so many people that try to talk about certain things going on, but I mean, everyone has their opinion. So I feel like this is a good like all around moment because you can look for podcasts on just politics, a podcast for just pop culture,
Yeah.
like all of that. So this is going to have a little bit of everything. So I'm excited for it. I'm not super excited to edit everything, but I'm excited to film it.
And they're just getting longer and longer.
Yeah, every episode, I'm like, okay.
It's going to be great. I'm glad to have you. I'm glad to have your point of view, your opinions on things. And so you're going to hear a lot from Paige over the course of this show. And if you have questions for her or whatever, then you can just message us. Are you going to post these on your social too?
If I look good.
You look great.
Thanks.
By the way,
back to Photoshop, maybe.
back to my side part. She's the perfect age. She has permission to wear the center part.
I know that was a little shocking when you said that. I was like, oh. But I think that is a big thing right now is hair, which I don't know if everyone can see my bobby pins. I got sucked into the trend of bangs.
Oh, you cut them?
Don't ever cut your bangs. I didn't cut them myself. I went to someone, not saying she's bad, she's amazing, she did great.
You just didn't like
But
them?
I've
never even seen you wear them.
Exactly.
Now you have to wear bangs so I can see what they look like.
No. I was like, oh, I'm thinking about doing bangs. Like I've just seen so many videos and they look so cute on everyone. And she was like, yeah, we can cut them for you. And I was like, just do it. Like I want something new. I hate them. I literally hate them. They're always in my face. They're like right here. And I feel like my face, especially like when I'm working out or whatever, gets oily and like sweaty. So it literally gets so greasy. So just like these stringy 2 pieces. And like the rest of my hair will be fine. And I'm like, okay, this is disgusting. And like bangs don't look good in my opinion unless you're styling them every day.
You do got to do something with them every day.
I'm not a hair girly. I'm not a style girly. Like this is the most styling I will do for my hair is a slick back. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I chose that life.
Were you like PMS?
I don't know. I think I was just like in this stage of like, I had hit like 3 months being married and I was like, okay, well now there's nothing exciting about me anymore. Like there's nothing to like talk about. So I was like, I'm going to dye my hair. I'm going to cut it. Like I'm going to do something new.
There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah. And like, it's also been winter, so I'm not tan. So I'm like struggling because I'm so pale right now.
Oh, fun fact. Paige can be in the sun for 16 seconds and she will be as dark as a Nigerian. Truly. I've seen it. I've been with her in the Florida sun and she came normal, white, and she left literally looking like a native. Dark, beautifully. Do you have like any kind of...
I do have native in me. Yes.
You must.
Yeah, I do. So yeah, I tan really easily, but it's really hard because I'll be so tan and then it goes away and like the winter has been like no sun.
Do you feel like you're super pale right now?
You
are not. You have an olive.
Okay, well I'm also like I still wear the same makeup, so my makeup is
but I'm
like
looking at
brown.
your arms too.
My makeup is brown, so my face is tan.
Did you put it on your arms? Because your arms are tan.
My arms are pale.
It's not true. It's not true.
Yeah, I look like, the peanut butter baby meme.
No.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna show you that soon. It's like a baby that covered itself in peanut butter, and the mom like comes in the room, and he's just sitting on the table with the jar of peanut butter, covered head to toe.
So he painted himself.
And I literally every time I put on my makeup, I'm like, I feel like the peanut butter baby because it's like on my face and it's just brown. Like
awesome. Hey, at least it was peanut butter and not poop. Lots of kids paint themselves in poop.
Gosh. That's disgusting.
They do things. They do things that happen. So really, you thought that was shocking about the side part?
I did think that was shocking. I know that it's obviously talked about a lot.
Is it?
I feel like a lot of people will like post videos, and I don't know if this is just my TikTok because it's like obviously curated,
right?
But it'll be like people posting like random videos or whatever, and they're like, you would look so much better with this part. Like you should try a middle part or try this part, a side part. I think it's also because there's a girl on The Bachelor that had a side part, and everyone was saying like, please do a middle part. Because they're like late 20s maybe.
Yeah, so that's appropriate when they're young like that. But I watch too many shows of women in their 40s and above, and they're still doing it, and it's not cute. It's ugly. I mean, it's actually distracting. And the hairdresser in me really struggles. The hairdresser in me really struggles to watch these older women. Sorry, you're an older. I'm an older woman now. I'm considering an older. People call me ma'am, which is. I bless them, but I want to slap them.
I call everyone ma'am, though.
I purposely always, no matter what their age was, I called them miss.
Miss?
Yeah. Excuse me, miss.
I say ma'am.
Because I thought, little 70-year-old woman. Excuse me, miss.
Yeah.
Makes
I don't
her
know where
feel,
it came from. I mean, my dad's
well,
from the South, so maybe
it's
it's bad.
probably, yeah, it's probably good etiquette, but it makes me feel old. Any last words?
No, I don't think so.
Thank you for coming on here, and thank you for all your hard work.
This is gonna be fun.
It's going to be super fun. Maybe you should slap the peanut butter baby in there.
I'm gonna put it on that clip, like where we were talking about it. I'll put it right here, guys, on my hand, floating.
Here, peanut butter baby.
Yeah, it's you need to know what it is because I promise every time you like put on tan makeup, you're gonna think of it now. Like I don't know if it's like because I put bronzer on and like it's like brown for a second before I put on like the under eye and all that, and it's just I'm the peanut butter baby.
Maybe you should do a get ready with me.
A get ready with me peanut butter baby?
No, just regular. I mean, you could do that, but that is going to stink.
Yeah, and that's expensive. Peanut butter is expensive.
Everything is expensive.
True. Like
Everything.
eggs.
Oh, that's what I was talking about yesterday. It was $14 for egg. That's like $1 an egg.
I used to pay $30 for 50 eggs at Aldi's, and I just went the other day. It was $60 for 50 eggs.
That's over $1 an egg.
$60 for the pack, and I was like, "Oh,
wow."
Yeah.
And Aldi's supposed to be like the place.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know. Well, my mother-in-law has chickens, so I'm gonna steal eggs
from
her.
That's the way to go.
If I was in an apartment, I would get chickens.
Same.
I had chickens before though, and they're annoying.
I know, but they're cute. They do. Well, it's a whole thing. You can't just have chickens. You have to have chickens and ducks, and you have to. So my father-in-law built a chicken coop. Yeah, because they eat the bugs and like it's an ecosystem. But my father-in-law built a chicken coop that was on wheels so that you could move it because there's so much stuff that happens underneath. But the chickens actually peck into the ground and they like aerate it. It's a whole. God was smart when he created the earth the way that he did.
Fly away.
Yeah, probably. But
chickens can't like fly.
They can sort of, but like domestic type ducks, if they have water and food, they're not going to go anywhere. They're a little family.
True. That's just scary. Because like, what if you're like feeding all these birds for no reason? They just fly away. Feeding
all these birds. I mean, technically they are birds.
And they just, like, I don't know. Well, I mean, chickens are just, I had chickens one time and one of them ended up being a rooster. And I don't know what my dad did with them, but they were gone the next day.
Oh,
like
chickies.
5 a.m, you hear it. Yes. And like, we don't live in like on acres. We live in a suburb. Right. So our neighbors hated us for a couple days.
That is awesome. That is so great. Well, thank you. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you for your opinions and keep them coming.
Perfect.
Awesome. Okay. I'm just going to close this out by sharing one quick little thing. I wanted to just share a little bit of my story since I haven't really done that. I didn't really want to just start off with an episode that shared all that. But I'll share little clips over time. I have 3 kids, like you heard today with me talking about with Bobby. My oldest is my daughter. I have my son. And then I was single for a number of years and had my third hours together. And they're all grown. They've all flown the nest. But I became a mom at 16. I had my oldest daughter when I was 16 years old. My son when I was 19. We got married. I married my high school sweetheart. And by the time I was 21, I was divorced. And so it's been an interesting journey to say the least. I love my family more than anything in this world. Everything I've ever done has been with them in mind when it comes to career and all the decisions that I've made. And I really hope to. And now I have a grandbaby. I have one grandbaby. She's perfect. Sorry, she's better than yours. No offense to all of you who have grandchildren. You probably think the same, but mine is better. And she calls me Gigi. And I chose that not because it was trendy, but because I thought she could say that soon. She could say that a lot easier than some of the other things. And guess what? It was one of the first things that she said because I pounded it into her little brain. Now she could spell it too and write it. So I'm very thrilled with that. But I just feel like, as a mom, as a now Gigi, as a grandmom, my whole goal in life is to equip the next generation, to impact them so that the world is filled with, and matter of fact, Paige's generation, Gen Z, is the most hopeful generation that maybe has existed in a long time. They, for the first time in decades, their generation does not have the hope that they will have a better life than their parents because of the economy and the political, the way that the politics is going. And I believe I want to change that. I believe the world is getting better. We're advancing in technology. We're advancing in medical knowledge. We're advancing in nutritional knowledge. Like the name of the Lord is getting out there further. Spirit of religion is being eradicated all around the world. And so my hope is that in my children, I can instill a sense of hope and faith and, leaving the world better than we found it. So I just wanted to read this as I close out this episode. Every life form seems to strive to its maximum except human beings. How tall will a tree go? As tall as it possibly can. Human beings, on the other hand, have been given the dignity of choice. You can choose to be all you can, or you can choose to be less. Why not stretch up to the full measure of the challenge and see what all you can do? That's a Jim Rohn quote. And I just hope through this show, through regular conversations with regular people, that we can open the door to expanding your mind politically, feeling free to share your own opinion again. Stop cutting people down because they don't believe exactly the way that you believe, and start actually having critical thinking about things. Don't just take what you're being told in the media as gospel. Do your own research. Get up, get out of the house, go barefoot in the grass, go barefoot in the dirt, like feel the dirt in your hands. Say something nice to somebody, go speak life to somebody. I promise you, every time you do that, your life gets immeasurably better. So thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next time.